Gambler's fallacy.
Makes believe that independent past events have an effect on the event that is happening now.
Abusive analogy.
States an insulting comparison.
Accent.
Stresses certain words to lead the attention towards a certain interpretation of the meaning.
Accident.
States a special case or circumstance in to convince that a universal truth or general rule cannot exist.
Affirming the consequent.
Relies on the thought that only the stated cause is the reason for the consequence.
Amphiboly.
Used when you construct a sentence ambiguously.
Analogical fallacy.
Comparison of two things, which are eventually not similar and thus not logically connected.
Apriorism.
Reasoning based on principles rather than facts.
Argumentum ad baculum.
Uses force or threat to persuade.
Bifurcation.
Presents alternatives to choose from, formulated in a way that one is more attractive than the other.
Blinding with science.
Uses academic language, although conversational style could be used.
Bogus dilemma.
Two options are given although more are existing to choose from.
Circulus in probando.
Repetition of reason based on something that is unknown.
Complex question.
Several aspects are asked for in one question and gives no chance to refute one of them.
Composition.
Believe that the whole is as good as its parts.
Concealed quantification.
An ambiguous or unclear amount is stated.
Conclusion which denies premises.
One's reasons contradict the consequence.
Contradictory premises.
Two opposing reasons are given and the conclusion drawn is unsound, unreliable.
Argumentum ad crumenam.
One believes that money is the measure of rightness.
Cum hoc ergo propter hoc.
Asserts a causal relation of two things, because they are happening at the same time.
Damning the alternatives.
Presents all but one options as inferior.
Definitional retreat.
Rewords the definition given into a different statement.
Denying the antecedent.
States only one cause to the event although there might be several.
Dicto simpliciter.
Applies general rules to an individual case.
Division.
The collection has certain quality, so must have a particular part of it.
Equivocation.
The use of ambiguous language to conceal the truth or to avoid committing oneself.
Every schoolboy knows.
Assertion through appeal to shame and fear of being thought less knowledgeable than a child.
Argumentum ad metum.
Appeal to fear.
Argumentum ad invidiam.
Appeal to envy.
Argumentum ad odium.
Appeal to hatred.
Argumentum ad superstitionem.
Appeal to superstition.
Argumentum ad superbium.
Appeal to pride.
Argumentum ad majum.
Appeal to a just proportion of everything.
Sentiment superior.
Appeal to sentiment rather than reason.
Exception that proves the rule.
Refutation of a valid objection to the argument.
Exclusive premises.
An invalid conclusion is drawn from two negative premises.
Existential fallacy.
Implied existence of some things in a statement.
Ex-post-facto-statistics.
Use of probability laws to events which happened already.
Extensional pruning.
One retreats to literal definition if confronted.
False precision.
Exact numbers are used for inexact notions.
Genetic fallacy.
Refuting an argument because of the incredibility of its source.
Half-concealed qualification.
Words themselves express a limited claim, but the emphasis or accent is downplayed, hidden, or covered.
Hedging.
Using phrases such as sort of or a bit to weaken the impact.
Argumentum ad hominem, abusive.
Attack against the arguer instead of the argument.
Argumentum ad hominem, circumstantial.
Appeal to special circumstances of the person with whom one is arguing.
Argumentum ad ignorantium.
The lack of knowledge in one thing is the justification of the opposite.
Ignoratio elenchi.
Believe to prove one thing, but infer a conclusion of a different thing.
Illicit process.
Fallacious inference of a universal conclusion from a premise that states particulars.
Irrelevant humor.
Is used if material is brought up that diverts the attention away from the argument.
Argumentum ad lapidem.
Argument is stated absurd, but with no explanation of absurdity.
Argumentum ad lazarum.
One believes that poverty of a man makes argument more sound, more virtuous.
Loaded words.
Prejudiced words are used that influence the result of reasoning.
Argumentum ad misericordiam.
Appeal to pity.
Argumentum ad nauseam.
One believes that repetition makes things more likely to be true.
Non-anticipation.
Proposal is rejected, because it has not been thought of already and implemented into current wisdom.
Argumentum ad novitum.
One believes that because something is new it must be right.
Argumentum ad numerum.
Appeal to respectable numbers.
One-sided assessment.
Only one side is taken into consideration.
Petitio principii.
Statement which refers to its own assertion to prove the assertion.
Poisoning the well.
Attack of the person instead of the argument before the opponent could say something.
Argumentum as populum.
Appeal to popular attitudes instead of presenting relevant material.
Positive conclusion from negative premise.
Logical fallacy of inferring a positive conclusion from a negative premise.
Post hoc ergo propter hoc.
Believe that one event is caused by the other, because they occurred consecutively.
Quaternio terminarum.
Fallaciously used 4 terms in a syllogism which requires only 3 terms.
Red herring.
Diverts the attention away with new material from the point being made.
Refuting the example.
Challenge of one particular example of the argument to discredit it, without challenging the argument itself.
Reification.
One believes that words denote real things.
Runaway train.
Argument supports a course of action that can be extended inevitably, fallaciously.
Secundum quid.
Hasty generalization from few cases.
Shifting grounds.
Shift the substance of what was said to deceive and claim continuity.
Shifting the burden of proof.
Assertion of justification, that the audience must disprove.
Slippery slope.
Reasoning by train of thought.
Special pleading.
One requests different standards for one thing where usually normal rules of evidence and argument apply.
Straw man.
Misrepresentation of the opponent's position to be able to knock it down more easily.
Argumentum ad temperentium.
Appeal to the moderate way without taking into considerations other ways' benefits.
Thatcher's blame.
Finding faults in pro and cons of the opponent.
Trivial objection.
Refutation of an argument because of minor or incidental aspects.
To quoque.
One claims that the opponent is guilty of the same thing one was accused of.
Unaccepted enthymeme.
Unstated element is not accepted.
Undistributed middle.
Middle term in a syllogism is not distributed in either the minor or the major premise.
Unobtainable perfection.
The lack of perfection is basis for rejection of alternatives, although none are perfect either.
Argumentum ad verecundiam.
Appeal to false authority.
Wishful thinking.
Preferences is the base to reject the opposite, although judgment without proper reasoning is used.